What's up, Razmanites and movie buffs? You got the Razman here, once again coming at you on the Cigarette Burns for another round of the Cigarette Burns film reviews. This round's film, of course, is Lady Vengeance, or as it's known in some parts of the world, Sympathy for Lady Vengeance, the final film in the Vengeance trilogy. Lady Vengeance is a very interesting film for me because it was a film that I've now seen twice. And the first time I saw it was when I was not aware that Lady Vengeance was a part of a trilogy. You see, back in 2008, I gave myself a goal as an aspiring filmmaker to view more foreign films. But because I had not been saturating much into the foreign film market as of yet, I looked simply for plot lines and synopsises that interest me. And Lady Vengeance jumped right off the screen when I read the synopsis for this film for one very, very simple reason. The idea of a chick kicking butt and taking names. It does something for me, if you catch my drift. To see a woman not only able to take care of herself, but to be able to do it better than some men are capable of doing it. I absolutely love that. It's the main reason why I fell in love with Jennifer Garner for a time. I'm a huge fan of Alias. Own all the DVD box sets of that show. It's the same reason I can tolerate Elektra, because for all the problems it has, it's still Jennifer Garner as a character who kicks butt and takes names. So the idea of a woman around the age of 20 that was falsely accused of murder and is able to not only trick people into believing that she's this innocent flower by utilizing religion, something that people are extremely passionate about, and sort of using it against them to create a false image of herself. But then to slowly decay as she does from the woman that was falsely accused to the woman who realizes that, okay, I'm here in prison, and if I'm going to survive this, I need to have a reason for no one to want to mess with me, which is why she develops the religious persona, to becoming this absolute mastermind with the single goal of going after her accuser, Mr. Beck, and seeking the ultimate in revenge against him. Now, if you have not seen this film yet, which I don't know why you would be in that category, because I'm the next to last reviewer for this film as far as I know. So I don't know why you would be in that category at this point and be watching this review. But if you are, please turn it off now and come back and watch it later, because I'm about to delve into what is so beautiful about this film. In 3, 2, 1. So, yes, there was a slow decay of innocent flower child, 20 years old, to master manipulator using religion to survive in prison, to absolutely determined to get even with the killer who had threatened my daughter at any cost. And not only did she discover that he is a lot more twisted than she ever realized, but she discovers that his MO that he has of carrying around little mementos from children, those mementos were not just random mementos. They were mementos of children that he has murdered, that he had personally killed. So she tracks him down, along with the people that she had befriended in prison. And they find these tapes of children that he had previously killed. Now, this naturally is an incredibly disturbing scene, but it works so well. It really works because of the fact that you get to see the reaction from the parents who are tracked down by her. And by the way, I'm purposely not saying the main character's name because it's a Japanese name and it's one that I know I will totally botch. So I'm avoiding saying the main character's name. If you watch the film, you know who I'm talking about. But she tracks down the parents of the children that were killed, and she shows them, along with the others, the tapes. And when you see the reaction of the parents to these murders, you are just suckered in beyond belief to that moment. You really feel like these are people that have been victimized in the worst way possible by the murders of their own children. The only thing, in my opinion, that would have made this better would have been a somewhat quicker pace to the scene. Using shorter cuts, sort of like boom, reaction 1, boom, reaction 2, boom, reaction 3, so on and so on and so forth. As a matter of fact, that is my only quarrel with Lady Vengeance, is that the first half of Lady Vengeance is much more slower and much more drawn out, in my opinion, than it should have been. But that does not ruin the film at all, because not only do you have such a powerful reaction to the children being murdered, but you have, in my opinion, what is one of the most powerful scenes in cinema that I have ever been witness to. And that is when the main character finally gets a hold of Mr. Beck. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his name. I apologize. Again, Japanese names. I don't know if I'm getting them right. Or actually not even Japanese. I'm sorry. Totally misspoke. Korean names. Korean. Park Chan-wook is Korean. Sorry. But anyway, after he's already dead, killed by a grandmother who was getting revenge for her granddaughter that was murdered, and she used her own granddaughter's scissors. That is awesome. That's something I gotta backtrack and cover here, because I just realized I forgot to mention that. That's another thing that I loved about this film, is the way that everyone sort of banded together and collectively decided to kill this guy. And it wasn't just one person seeking revenge, but everyone seeking revenge and doing it as a group effort. And then he gets axed off by a grandmother. I mean, that is just absolutely brilliant in and of itself. But back to my original point, was that this is such a powerful scene because she sees him and shoots him twice in the forehead after he's already dead. That right there tells you everything about her as a person, what her motivations are, and just how far into decay a person can go when pushed to the right level. So yeah, Lady Vengeance from me gets 4 stars all the way across the board. The only thing that keeps it from being a 5-star film, as I mentioned, was poor pacing, in my own opinion. But this would probably be the only film in the Vengeance trilogy that I would look forward to owning at some point. I enjoyed Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance and Oh Boy for what they were, but I absolutely love Lady Vengeance, and I really hope at some point that I'm able to see the Fade to Black and White version, because from everything I've read and everything I've been told by people that have seen the Fade to Black and White version, it is so much more powerful than the pure color version, which is the only version that I've seen. So there you have it. 4-star film, a must-see. See Lady Vengeance if you haven't seen it. I will see you next time for another round of the Cigarette Burns film reviews.